If you tune in to certain black grassroots news outlets, you will hear about the things being done to our people, whether it's police brutality, political benign neglect, or attacks on black masculinity and gender reversal. We are under constant attack from the dominant society. This has been something which has gone on since the formulation of this country. We have never been on equal footing with the white race, and we were never supposed to be. Biblical prophecy tells us we are two different nations, and one is always going to be stronger than the other. There was always going to be a power struggle. Why are we the ones who get singled out for oppression and socio-economic abuse? Every people group has gone through some type of social grief at some point. Despite this, other people groups have been allowed to rebuild themselves and have been aided in rebuilding and establishing an economic base. Not only have we not been able to socio-economically recover from our hardships, there have been forces against us establishing any sort of economic footing. Truth is, the white race has to do this in order to survive because they can't compete. There's a classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon called Wacky Races, which featured a villain named Dick Dastardly. This character would constantly come up with ways to sabotage the efforts of the other racers. He never actually tried to compete. All his energy went into stifling the other contestants' progress. This is how the white race treats black people. They will never compete because they can't. In the few areas where our people are allowed to excel, we don't just do well, we completely dominate. This is mostly sports and entertainment where our people are the best athletes, best comedians, best actors, and best music artists. We're allowed to be our best in these areas because the white race owns the sports teams, the major record labels, and all the major TV networks and movie studios. While our endeavors in these areas are evidence of our greatness, ultimately these things economically empower everyone else and not us. We remain the least employed, the lowest earning, least married, and have the smallest economic footprint. Some will bring up the billions of dollars we spend every year in it being the highest. Consumerism isn't a power. The ability to spend the little money you have on consumer goods to economically empower someone else is not something to hang your hat on. Why are we the target? Everyone goes through things, but we're the ones everyone goes in on, especially the dominant society. The answer is the white race knows who they are. They also know who we are. They understand their time is short, and the pendulum will ultimately swing back totally and permanently in our favor. The Black Wall Streets had to be destroyed because they know if we can get a footing in this area, we will rule the world, because doing so is our destiny as Israelites, as the planet itself was made for us. They had to murder Malcolm, Dr. King, Sam Cooke, Fred Hampton, Marcus Garvey, etc. The white race understand our rise is their fall. Grassroots black media always say the way the white race judges their progress is how hard black people are being oppressed. This would make perfect sense in light of biblical prophecy. This has nothing to do with a fear of revenge. They're not scared of us getting power and coming after them. They're scared of us getting power and they inevitably become obsolete. In the realm of sports and entertainment, where we dominate everything, we didn't do it by dastardly deeds. We simply outperformed everyone to the point where we took over the landscape. We are genetically dominant, where the white race is genetically recessive. We can have a child with any other race, and outside of losing some of our melanin, a black child will be produced. The very opposite is true for the white race. White people can be wiped out without guns, violence, hatred, or oppression. Just by normal human reproduction by two consenting adults, we have the power to delete an entire race of people. If you are a so-called black person, you are in hell right now. Heaven and hell are not what we have been taught they were by Christianity. We don't go to hell when we die. A black man dies and he leaves hell. White people don't go to heaven when they die. When they die, they leave heaven. For the white race, this is it. For us, the best is yet to come. The white race cannot survive in a world of equality, as they fully understand there is no equality. They will be dominated and pushed aside into total irrelevance to the point where no one will desire to deal with them. They would die out naturally without anyone trying to harm them. The world would follow us, as they already are, in adopting our style, music, and our vernacular, even while being oppressed. All this would take place without violence or oppression. The condition of the world we live in is due to a people group who can't hack it. The things said about these people in Scripture is they would live by the sword. This is why the white race loves their guns, because their very survival depends on them. Violence and oppression is the only way they have made any progress as a people. It's their lot in life. What we as so-called blacks, along with our Hispanic and Native American brethren, are experiencing is not where we belong. The way we are living is diametrically opposed to 95% of our history as a people. We were warriors and kings who ruled nations and won wars. We raised families and bore princes and princesses. Because of our non-adherence to the laws of our government, the government the Most High gave us, we have been brought to a low estate. What's happened to us is our punishment, but like any punishment, it is meant to get us back on the proper course. Once this is done, we will be reinstated to our rightful place. Our destiny and birthright is to rule. They, the white race, know you are the chosen people of the Most High God, and they know they are the people whom the Most High God hates. This is why they oppress you. This is why they hide the history of your people in plain sight through Christianity. The Bible isn't a religious book. It is a document of our history as a people. You are related to Moses, David, Solomon, Samson, Deborah, Esther, Mary, Paul and the apostles, and Jesus. These are your ancestors, your blood relatives, your brothers and sisters. Black people say of themselves how every other people group has an identity and know where they came from except for us. Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is your identity and your origin, and is by far the greatest of them all. Those with an ear, let them hear.